Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. It's Friday and we're recording, so a little busy, but we're doing our plays of the week. We're doing week 4 previews. That's Nick. I'm Theo. This is the Drafted Up podcast. You know where to find us. Over on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to your podcast. We'll be there. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share, all that good stuff. Just search Drafted Up. Nicholas, how you doing today?
Doing good. Exciting Thursday night game last night. It was down to the last minute, but man, it was boring up until that last minute. That's for damn sure.
I am so happy that Marvin Harrison caught that touchdown.
Yeah, he would have been a destroyed man. It was no coming back after that. But hey, man, the game's not over until the game's 0-0-0 on the game clock, and thankfully he caught that touchdown. It was a nice touchdown.
He had a great fourth quarter as well, and it was great to see.
Terrible game though.
The community really vibing with Marv. Like, I saw a ton of tweets from like draft analysts, like, there's a good football player in there somewhere. Like, he's just in his own head right now. He needed that, and when he caught that touchdown, he went on that knee. And it was like just the longest kneel down. It was like a huge sigh of relief for him. I hope going forward here for Marvin Harrison, that'll be good. But Seattle won. Seahawks are looking good. I think I was on to something.
For sure.
I was way wrong on Indianapolis, but I was right on the Seahawks so far.
We'll take the wins where we get them, and we won't talk about the losses. So.
Yeah. All right. Plays of the week. You ready? We're just going to jump right into this.
Yeah, jump right in, and we'll talk about the news as we do the games this week, because we're talking about pretty much all of them except Thursday night. So,
yeah, as always, these are our dubby plays of the week. One of us wants to eat that dub. Dubby energy, good, clean energy, no artificial dyes, no flavors, none of that stuff. A ton of cool, unique flavors. They also have a non-caffeinated line with their hydration line. So check them out. Search Dubby on your Apple App Store, your Google Play Store. They'll be there. You can go to the site, dubby.gg. That's DUBBY. Use the code DRAFTEDUP for a nice 10% discount anytime, anywhere you use that code. One of us is eating that dub. Maybe none of us ate the dub week 3. We literally tied the same exact score down to the decimal. Yes. We tied.
I was wondering why you didn't send me the scores. I'm going into this blind. Last week you told me I won. This week you didn't tell me anything. So I'm like, okay, I think he won since you didn't tell me anything. I'm like, makes sense. My team didn't do great, but it did all right.
We each scored.
That's insane.
58.25 points.
50. That's in. Huh.
Yeah. So okay. I am 0-2-1 here in our double plays of the week, and you are 2-1, and you're 2-0-1. I ate a tie before I ate that dub.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
I'm looking to eat that dub this week. Nicholas, who is your play of the week at quarterback?
My quarterback of the week. So I'm breaking our unwritten rule. My unwritten rule, yes, of not picking the same guy back to back. But last week, the guy, he shit the bed kind of. He had a very mediocre game versus Cleveland because Cleveland's defense is phenomenal. It's Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers going on the road to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys and their lack of a defense. That defense is so beatable. We've seen it the last 2 weeks. It's going to happen again. Jordan Love has that deep arm ball, as does Russell Wilson. So I'm expecting multiple deep touchdowns. Golden's going to be really good this week. Romeo Doubs is in play. Tucker Kraft, of course. But, man, I'm in love with Jordan Love this week. Week 1 and 2 were awesome weeks from him. Week 3 was a little bit of a step back, like we just talked about, versus Cleveland. But versus Dallas, it's all steam ahead versus Dallas at Dallas. Doesn't matter where it's at. Their defense is weak this year. Very beatable over the top.
Was QB1.
Oh, so good versus Dallas. Yeah.
Yep.
Dropped 450 on him. I'm expecting 300 and at least 2 touchdowns from Jordan Love.
All right. I like that. This is a weird one. Patrick Mahomes versus the Baltimore Ravens. Usually don't see Patrick Mahomes show up on the plays of the week, but he's not that guy. We've brought that up before. For fantasy, Mahomes just is fine. But Baltimore has been destroyed on defense this year. They've given up 40 points twice in losing efforts, and I expect a shootout this week. And the Chiefs' weapons aren't great. So where do all these points fall to? They fall to Patrick Mahomes. Baltimore gives it up on the ground, but Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, they're not efficient. And the Chiefs' receiving crew is beat to shit. So I expect this to be falling on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders. I expect him to get 50 some rushing yards. I expect 300 passing yards, and 3 touchdowns. I think is in the realm of possibility. Like, I think this is a week you can bank on Patrick Mahomes to finish in the top 10 at the quarterback position. So I like him versus Baltimore, what should be a shootout, giving the edge to the home team there with Patrick Mahomes against a really bad Ravens defense.
I wouldn't say they're bad per se, but they haven't looked like the Ravens defense, obviously, that we've known at the past 10, 15 years. But I think Mahomes is going to look very similar to week 1 and 2, like the rushing wise. It's going to be like 50, 60 yards on the ground, maybe even a rushing touchdown because he scored on the ground week 1 and 2. And that's just really a great baseline for a quarterback. If you're out there with 50, 60 yards, that's just free fantasy points. So I'm expecting a shootout in Baltimore. I don't think they're going to score 40, but it's going to be a good amount of points.
Running back, who you got?
I got Omarion Hampton versus the New York Giants in New York. Najee's out for the season, so it's just Hampton in that backfield. So I love that for him. And he really showed up week 3 after Najee went down. He finished RB4 on the week. He finished with 70 yards on the ground, a touchdown, and he's seen 7 targets. That was more than he's seen in week 1 and 2 combined, and he brought in 6 of them for nearly 60 yards. And I kind of expect that to happen versus New York again. As good as the Giants' front 7 is, teams have been really running the ball on them, and I don't think it's going to change. Herbert obviously is a lock-in starter every single week this season going forward, not a doubt in my mind, but I think Hampton's going to really step up. He showed that he could really carry the rock week 3, and he did it versus a really good defense in Denver. So the Giants' defense is good, but it's not Denver good. So I'm expecting another really good week for Omarion Hampton, and he's one of the rookies that are shining right now out of the struggling rookie running back class. It's kind of like him and Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah. We might be talking about,
and they're playing each other.
Yeah, as I say, like, it might be time that we could consider Ashton Chanty into these starts of the week with how his season has been going thus far. At running back, I am going with Breece Hall of the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins on Monday night. The Dolphins' rush defense has been bad. The Colts' running attack beat them up. Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, DJ Giddens all had good games. Ramondre Stevenson destroyed this Miami defense. James Cook destroyed this Miami defense. And if the Jets want to win this game, they have to rely on Breece Hall because you can't put it all on Justin Fields coming off a concussion, and just the fact that Justin Fields is the most inconsistent fantasy quarterback not named Anthony Richardson over the last 5-6 years. So Breece Hall, he had the juice week 1. He looked great. Week 2, not great. Week 3 was just fine. I expect a big game for Breece Hall here against a Miami team, like I said, who is giving up the points at the running back position. And for the Jets to win this game in a battle of teams that are 0-2, 0-3, it's going to fall on Breece Hall's shoulders, not Justin Fields.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fields is a good start this week, though. I'm not going to lie to you. He burnt me week 2, and so if it's coming for me, it's kind of the truth when it comes to Fields. So I would be fine starting him in a good amount of situations.
Wide receiver, where are you going?
I'm going to the last man standing in Tampa Bay, and it's rookie wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, and he's had a really good season so far. He stepped up nicely week 3 when Mike Evans went out. He's seen 8 targets, brought in 6. Had a season high 85 yards, but it was the first week he didn't score. I fully expect that to change. It's Philly. I get it. It's a really good defense, but their corners have been struggling, especially their number 2. And obviously their number 2 is not going to be on Egbuka, but Tampa Bay moves a lot of guys around so they can easily get the matchup they want. And Egbuka is going to eat in that matchup, dude. And I get Baker's a little bit banged up, so how reliable is Baker going to be this week? But it's Baker. He's a dog. I have no question that he's going to be out there doing his all. But yeah, Emeka Egbuka, full point PPR. He's broke double digits every single week. I don't think that's going to change again, especially versus Philly. I expect him to get in the end zone, see a bunch of targets. Emeka Buka, I think he's a for sure top 24 play this week.
Yeah, no, I like that. Wide receiver, I am going with the king of catch shit mountain, Laddie Daddy himself, Ladd McConkey. He's been good this year. He just hasn't been fantasy fine, good, which was our concern. We felt we were drafting him at a ceiling at the back end of the second round, and that's been the case so far, especially with the emergence of Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen, coming back from the dead and being a superstar this year. But I think this is the week. Like, Ladd McConkey is due for that big week, and he's going against the Giants. You can pass on them. He had 9 targets last week, 5 the week before that, 7 the week before that. He's catching balls. Each week his receptions have gone up 1. He had 4 week 1, 5 week 2, 6 week 3. That means he should get 7 catches this week. He had his best game against the Chiefs last week, or his best game was week 1, where he was 6 for 74. He's actually backwards. He's gone down each week, 6, 5, 4. So he should get 3, but he's going to get more than 3. We'll bank on that, but he's due for a big week. Justin Herbert's been slinging the ball. He's probably the favorite right now to win MVP on a team that's 3-0, who's just really good at football. Like you pegged the Chargers great during our preseason stuff. You loved them. You said they were a Super Bowl contender, and they are playing like that. Mm-hmm. And I just think it's time that Ladd McConkey gets involved and becomes the alpha of this receiving room, which he is. He just hasn't had to be. So I think Harbaugh's going to see that shift, and we're going to see a big week from Ladd McConkey against the Giants defense, who isn't good, but quarterback change for the Giants. I think they're going to play a little better than people are expecting. So this might be a little bit more of a shootout than people are going to give credit to.
Oh, I hope so, dude. And at some point, defenses are going to realize that they have to start covering Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen a little bit more. Obviously, Keenan Allen gets the respect he deserves, but he's still not eating double coverage like Ladd is. Ladd is the main focus point out of this receiving room. But at some point, teams are going to be like, okay, Quentin Johnson's really good, so we're going to have to adjust to that. Keenan Allen is still Keenan Allen, and he's an amazing wide receiver. And once that happens, Ladd's going to get open more. He still runs these great routes. He's got really strong hands. At some point this season, Ladd's going to start eating. I just acquired him in one of our leagues, so very, very nice pickup.
Yeah. All right, let's round this out at tight end. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to the guy that's for sure going to get 18 targets, baby. Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers this week. He's seen 12 targets in week 2. He's seen 14 targets in week 3. That is insane. And let's not forget about the 6 targets he saw week 1. That's not like anything. That's a really good number for a tight end. Especially week 1, guys are rusty. We're not at full go. But since then, it's been amazing for him. He's brought in 9 catches week 2, 13 last week with 82 yards. At some point, one of these targets is going to get him a touchdown. I don't know when it's going to happen, but hey, man, Ferguson's probably going to finish with 2 or 3 touchdowns. So at some point, he's going to score. And Green Bay's a good matchup for him. You can pass on them tight end wise. And him and George Pickens are really the guys that are going to see the targets in this offense. I don't know how much Dak relies on George Pickens. I get he's going to see 8 to 10 targets just like Ferguson is. But Dak has trusted Jake Ferguson for the last 3 years consistently. If Ferguson is out there, Dak gets him the ball when he needs like a 4-short catch on 3rd down. And I expect this game to be pretty close. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout or anything because Green Bay is really good. I get it. But I think Dallas hangs in there a little bit and Jake Ferguson brings in another, I don't want to say double-digit catches because that's a huge number, but I expect it to be like 8 to 10 catches for sure. Yeah. And full-point PPR, that's amazing.
Yeah, Jake Ferguson is the start of the week. But I'm going with a guy who has 2 top 5 fantasy finishes this year at the tight end position, and that's Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills. What if I tell you that Dalton Kincaid has already tied his career high in touchdowns? He's got 2 this year. That's his career high. That's what he had his rookie year. That's what he had last year. 6 targets the last 2 weeks. I know he's not on the field as much as you'd like because he still splits time with Dawson Knox. Saints defense is bad. The Saints in general, not a good football team. So the opportunity to score is there. And if I'm going to bank on someone to get a touchdown in the Buffalo Bills receiving room, I think Dalton Kincaid would be my favorite to place that bet on. We got 13 catches on the year, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's more involved in the passing, and when he's out there, he's seeing targets. Like I said, the last 2 weeks, 6 targets. He's averaging 11, about 11 yards a target. I think Kincaid, I would play him over Travis Kelce. There's my bold claim. I would start Dalton Kincaid over Travis Kelce right now. I'm going to trust Josh Allen. I'm going to trust the Saints are bad, and I'm going to see that Dalton Kincaid's involvement. I think it's just going to keep going up. Like, I think there's going to be a point where he has to be on the field because he's the most reliable pass catcher that they have. So I'm going to roll the dice with Dalton Kincaid. Like I said, 2 top 5 finishes this year already. So I'm comfortable, putting Kincaid in as a top 12 play, and I think we're going to see success continue here for him at the tight end position.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think Kincaid's kind of getting talked about enough. Like if Njoku had Kincaid's stat line this season, people would not be upset with Njoku. They would be thrilled, to be honest, because he doesn't even have a top 12 finish on the season. If Dallas Goedert had Kincaid's finish, or if Dallas Goedert has had Kincaid's season, we would be like, oh, Dallas Goedert's a for sure lock in this Philly offense, 2 top 4 finishes. That would be amazing. If Kyle Pitts has had Dalton Kincaid's season, Kyle Pitts' name would be plastered all over the internet, dude. 2 top 4 finishes, 2 touchdowns on the year. That's insane. So I think Kincaid's a really good pick. He's kind of being slept on right now. 6 targets in back-to-back games. That's a good shout-out. I like it a lot.
Yeah. All right. Those are our Dubby plays of the week. I'm looking to get my first dub. I'm itching for it.
I cannot believe we tied before you got a win, dude.
That's insane. It's insane. Like I said, Dubby Energy, be better, eat that dub, use the code DRAFTEDUP for 10% off your purchase anytime, anywhere. Let's get in to these Sunday games.
Let's get it.
All right, we got a London game or an Ireland game. I don't know where the Vikings. We got an overseas game. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 2.5 point road favorites technically. An over under at 40.5. How comfortable are you just throwing Jordan Addison in your lineup first game back?
Not particularly confident, I'm not going to lie to you, especially with Carson Wentz out there, because he still has Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson, who, hey, shout out my play of the week last week. He got in the end zone, Hawkinson. So I'm cool riding Jordan Addison on the bench this week. Let it just play into play, see how he fits into the offense right now, and then just let him get ready for next week.
You're going to start Justin Jefferson. Obviously, he's been fine.
What?
But hasn't been spectacular, but that's just the ride of wide receivers. You're not going to put Jefferson on your bench. Are you worried about him at all rest of season?
Nope. No, negative.
Him or Jamar Chase rest of season? Who would you rather have?
Oh, that is a hard question, especially with Burrow being out all season. I think Justin Jefferson's going to be a little bit more consistent rest of the season, so I would take him.
Yeah, I agree. Not to be a homer. TJ Hawkinson in your lineup, Jordan Mason in your lineup. He had an incredible game against the Bengals. My play of the week. He was my best play of the week. He had half my points almost. So lock those guys in. I agree with you with Addison, unless you have to play him. I would try to keep him on your bench, especially with Addison's rapport is with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, for sure. But if you have to play him, what were you doing for the last 3 weeks? Who the hell have you been playing?
In my case, Josh Downs and
you're asking for a friend. Gotcha.
Quentin
Understand.
Johnston, who is still
Quentin Johnston easily.
Cedric Tillman.
I would start Addison over Downs and probably Tillman. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, so I have to start Jordan Addison.
That's true.
I'm in the boat where I have to start him.
And there are teams that got rocked by wide receiver injuries last week. I have Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb in one week, and I just lost both of them. And I'm like, oh, good God, dude, I'm hurting. Hurting for sure.
On the Pittsburgh side, it's really 2 people. It's Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf. DK he's not a wide receiver 1. I'll still bet for fantasy he's a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, obviously, but he's a low end wide receiver 2, high end flex guy for me, just like rest of season. And then Jalen Warren, who's been really good. He's had top 15 finishes every week, so you'll keep him in your lineup. You're not going to mess with John or Pat Fryer, so there's really no one else here in Pittsburgh.
Jalen Warren's got a knee injury. He is questionable. He's set to play as of now, but it is something to watch. There's a chance he doesn't play this week.
Well, if that's the case, go get Kenny Gainwell. He's probably out there because I doubt they let Caleb Johnson tote the rock.
They will
as the guy.
I think Johnson will end up being out there like 6-7% of snaps, but Gainwell is going to be the lead back for sure if Warren doesn't end up suiting up. So yeah, Gainwell's a really good flex play if Warren doesn't play.
Yeah. Hypothetical 2-quarterback league, Carson Wentz or Aaron Rodgers? Who would you start?
That is a rough question. Carson Wentz was QB like 14 last week, so I would probably take Wentz. Yeah, I would probably lean Wentz.
Yeah, the Vikings have the better defense, so I'm not going to mess around with Rodgers. And Andrew Van Ginkel, he's out defensively, but he barely played last week for them. So anyone else to talk about in this game?
No, I think you hit it pretty good, dude. Like Calvin Austin, he's not really reliable. You can't really start him, and there's too many tight ends in Pittsburgh to even start any one of them. So
we're keeping Hockenson locked in, though.
Yeah, unless you have like Jawan Johnson.
Yeah, Hockenson with Hockenson.
Oh yeah, I'm rocking with him, especially with Carson Wentz out there for sure. But if you ended up getting guys like Jawan Johnson or that's probably about it. I mean, Jake Ferguson, maybe a team cut Jake Ferguson because they were unhappy. But week 1, but
you gonna start him over both Cleveland tight ends, Fannin and Njoku?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Agree. All right, who wins the nice 9:30 a.m. Eastern time?
Oh man, I doubted you guys last week. I picked Cincinnati, but I'm gonna pick Minnesota this week.
I'm also taking Minnesota. The Vikings have never lost a overseas game in Europe.
What? 3-0, 4-0,
3-0. Yeah,
you got like a pretty good record. Yeah, it's not just one game. So
we're there next week too against Cleveland. So
how do you feel about that? Back-to-back foreign games.
They're both road games too, so I'm really cool with it.
Oh, I would take that. Okay, that's cool.
2 of our road games are essentially just neutral site, and then we have the bye week. So I'm content.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I think it's cool. I'm fine.
I think
with
most teams have a bye week after their foreign game, so it makes sense you guys have 2 and then their bye. It is really nice that both of them are road games. I'm surprised one of them's not a home game. I'm surprised they didn't alternate them. But hey, man, that's pretty dope for you. Hell yeah, I like that a lot.
But also taking the Vikings. We'll talk about your team here. The LA Chargers travel to New York to take on the Giants. Chargers are 6-point road favorites over under a 43.5. Play your Chargers, all of them. Herbert, Hampton, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey. You honestly cannot bench any of those. And then keep an eye on Oronde Gadsden's usage. He had a nice, he was used last week. So if he's involved, I think he's a good guy to start, considering to stash on your bench. And because this Chargers offense can sling it with the best of them.
Yeah, Will Dissly has already been announced out. So Gadsden's going to be the tight end again. He slid in really nice last week. He finished like 9-10 fantasy points as his first game. He only played on 26% of snaps, but he's seen 7 targets, brought in 5 of them. So he's just a name to watch, and he's a really athletic guy, comes from a football family, so he's got the pedigree. Yeah.
Giants side, it's going to be an exciting time. You get to see Jackson Dart. So we'll see what that Cam Scatterbo, it is his backfield per se. No Tyrone Tracy. Devin Singletary's obviously going to get some disgusting touches, but I think you could place. I think you could play Scatterbo. I think he's a flex play, low end RB2. Obviously, you're keeping Malik Neighbors in your lineup. Wan'Dale Robinson.
He had a rough outing last week, and I get everyone did. He only brought in 1 catch though, so
him or Jordan Addison.
I would probably lean Wan'Dale in full point PPR, Addison in half point PPR.
Okay. I think Wan'Dale. You would play Quentin Johnson over Wan'Dale?
Oh, easily. Yeah. I have Quentin Johnson near a top 24 receiver this week.
Yeah, I agree. That's it. Right? Nobody else from the Giants?
Cam Scatterbo is going to be exciting to watch. Like he's seen a bunch of targets last week, a huge upgrade from week 1, it was 2. Week 2, it was 3. So not that many. But last week, he saw 8 targets, brought in 6 for 61. That's a really good average, too. 10 yards a carry.
He's going to be Jackson Dart's best friend.
For sure. They have that chemistry already built in. And hey, I don't want to admit when I'm wrong, but I don't want to say I was wrong early or whatnot, but it looks like he's the same kid as he was in college. It looks like it's going to work. He's outrunning NFL talent. He's bulldozing NFL talent. He's just bouncing off of guys. He's super exciting. I don't know how long it's going to work. I think it's going to burn out quick as shit, maybe a couple seasons, but hey man, it's fun to watch on your team for sure.
Would him or your boy Quinshon Judkins this week? Judkins has Detroit.
He's got a tough matchup. So does Scadaboo though, but man, give me Scadaboo because of the catching.
I was gonna say, Judkins
only seen 2 catches. I think.
The 2 targets. He had 1 catch.
1 catch, 2 targets.
Yeah. All right. Chargers. We going with the Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers.
I'm picking the Chargers. You think the Giants can cover?
Yes, I do. I do think the Giants can cover.
I don't. I think it's going to be close. I think we lose by a touchdown. I don't think it's going to be 6, but I think we lose by 7. I think it's closer than people think it's going to be.
The Philadelphia Eagles. This game's going to be fun. Travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, 2 undefeated teams. The Eagles struggle with Tampa Bay. That's their kryptonite over there, Nick Sirianni. The Eagles are 3.5-point road favorites. Over-under is set at 44.5. I think this is the week you can bench Baker Mayfield if there's an option out there. He's banged up, tough defense. Like, would you play Justin Fields over Baker?
Oof. As a guy who got really, really burnt by Justin Fields in week 2, I would say no. But if I had Justin Fields week 1 and I was really happy with Justin Fields week 1, maybe I'd be more confident to start him over Baker. But it's honestly closer than people realize it is this week because of how bad Baker's banged up and how good Philly's defense is.
Yep. Like, if Caleb Williams or Geno Smith are on your waiver and those two play each other, Chicago and Vegas, I would play both those guys over Baker Mayfield.
I agree.
Maybe even Brock Purdy. Maybe teams cut him. He should be back this week. Jacksonville's got a good defense, though, so that one's a toss-up, but I would kind of hold Baker in the same boat as Brock Purdy, but I would play Caleb and Geno over him in a game that should be a shootout in my eyes. But obviously, you're not going to just try to go get Baker off your team and on your bench. That's
if you have to start Baker, start Baker.
Yeah. Igbuka, good play. Chris Godwin might be out there this week.
I don't think he's going to end up being out there.
Yeah, so he practiced in full Wednesday, but then didn't practice Thursday. And he did not practice today.
I think next week's going to be the week, which is kind of what's been talked about this week 5. He should be out there. So,
though he was, Todd Bowles did say he's on track for his season debut this week. If he is out there, you're not going to play him because he's going to be on a pitch count. But Tristan Wirfs also may be out there as well, which will be great for Baker and this team. And then obviously you're keeping Bucky Irving in your line if you're not moving on from him or Igbuka. You're playing both those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Baker, my play of the week. How do you feel about Cade Otton, man?
No,
he's had 2 goose eggs on the season, and then week 2 he had 5 points.
Chances are Zach Ertz or Hunter Henry are also available. I'd rather play both those guys than Cade Otton. I'd even rather take the shot on Oronde Gadsden over Otton. There's more upside, even in a crowded passing game.
I kind of agree. I was very beneficial from Cade Otton last year. I had him on many teams for those 4 or 5 games. He was like tight end 2, tight end 2, tight end 3, stuff like that. But I'm out on this season. It doesn't seem like it's there anymore. And I get that they need him now because it's gonna be just Igbuka, and if Godwin plays, he's on a pitch count. Sterling Shepard's not that guy. Oh man, but yeah, like you said, there are 5, 6, 7 tight ends that I would just happily play that are definitely available in your league over Otton.
Philly, you obviously playing, all your guys: Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley. Really, the one that you're going to bounce around with is Devonta Smith.
I was going to say, I think Smith is in question, especially compared to the other guys. Like Barkley is a lock. Brown I think's a lock just in case it's a shootout. You can't bench AJ Brown at this point, and no one's benching Jalen Hurts.
Would you play Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle?
Waddle this week, I think. He had a nice week last week.
I would also lean Waddle. He scored the last 2 weeks, so I would lean Waddle as well. But yeah, Devonta Smith
it's
is
close,
a low-end
it's very
flex.
Close.
A low-end flex guy who you could move on from. I agree with that.
Yeah, like if you need to play him in your flex because you got injuries with CD and Evans and guys like that. But yeah, I'm cool playing Smith if you have to, but there are guys I would play over him. Pittman, I'd play over him. Waddle, I'd play over him. Quentin Johnson, I'd play over him.
Yep.
I'd probably play all 3 San Diego receivers over him, to be honest.
Yep. Would you play Chris Olave over him?
Yeah. He sees a lot of targets. He's pretty set in stone in that offense. The one, even when they're down, they pass.
Yep. On the same page. Who wins this game? This is a battle of our 2 NFC Super Bowl representatives. You picked Philadelphia. I picked Tampa Bay. Both teams 3-0, so we're looking good so far in that prediction.
Yeah, for sure. I will happily admit if Baker wasn't questionable and Mike Evans was on the field, I was easily picking the Bucs in this matchup. I think I'm going to go with Philly because of those 2 reasons.
I also think the Eagles pull this off, and then if there is a rematch in the playoffs, I think that's where Tampa Bay pulls it off.
I agree. I think if Tampa Bay was at full go, I think it's a really big shootout and Tampa Bay pulls it out at the end.
Agree. Yeah. The Baker being questionable and banged up makes me lean towards Philadelphia, who's more healthy.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
All right, this game less fun. The Cleveland Browns travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. The Lions are 10-point home favorites, and over/under is set at 44.5. Amon-Ra's in your lineup. You're going to play Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. You'll play. David Montgomery's a little bit of a question mark for me. Cleveland, really great. They stopped Derrick Henry. They stopped Josh Jacobs. You playing David Montgomery this week? If flex question, David Montgomery or Devonta Smith?
I would go David Montgomery.
Okay, I would go Smith.
Okay, now I think Detroit is trickier than those other teams. Like Green Bay doesn't do flashy stuff with Josh Jacobs. Baltimore's not going to do anything with Derrick Henry flashy wise, but Detroit moves Montgomery around. They don't use him just like those other guys. Detroit does flashy stuff. I think you can get Montgomery into the flat. Yeah, he's not going to have a bunch of catches. Week 1, though, he had 4. And I'm not benching him after that huge week 3, dude. 130 on the ground, 2 tutties.
That's fair.
I'm cool with Montgomery in the flex. He's not an RB2 this week, but he's a flex guy.
What about his running mate, Jameson Williams?
I'm kind of cool flexing people over Jameson Williams this week.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. It has not been the start we expected for him. It's been
it's
they're not stretching the field
Jameson
with him.
Williams.
His target share isn't there. He's only got like 8 catches on the year.
Yeah,
and yeah, I would be like I would play Devonta Smith over him, like in a heartbeat. Like I wouldn't even think about that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think out of most of the names we named so far for flex, Jameson Williams would be towards the bottom of that list.
Yeah. And then Cleveland. Can you play anyone that's like you want to play Quinshon Judkins after the week he had against the Packers?
I'm playing.
Like
I'm
you
playing
want to
Judkins.
put him in. Would you play him over Montgomery?
Yes, I would play.
Okay, I
Judkins
agree.
near an RB2 territory. I would have him close to my top 24. I really like Judkins a lot.
Pollard.
Tony Pollard, dude, he's getting a bunch of work. Give me Tony Pollard, but he's slept on. Like people don't understand how slept on Tony Pollard is.
What about Nick Chubb?
Give me Quinshon Judkins.
Agree. Okay. You could probably like play Fannin or Njoku. Like
I would not.
It's tough. Like I would hold them in the same boat as Ertz and Henry, and then it would be those 2 guys like just kind of clumped there at that back end tight end 1 to like tight end 15 range.
Yeah, I would have them in the middle of the teens. Njoku hasn't seen a top 12 finish yet. Harold Fannin has, but I'm trying to get out of those guys. I would play Kelsey over both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would kind of hold Kelsey in the same boat. Like I had Fannin in our home league. He's in my lineup, but now with the Terry McLaurin news, which we'll get to here in a second, I'm probably going to lean more towards Zach Ertz over Harold Fannin.
Now, what about Mark Andrews over any of those guys? I would. I would take Andrews over Njoku and Fanning.
Maybe. You know how I feel about Andrews. I think I would.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, I think I would lean with Fannin getting just junk catches and then hope Njoku just sees a bulk. Like he's still getting targets. They're just not great.
Not good ones. They're not good ones.
I would lean Fannin over both of them, and personally, I would just rather play Njoku because I like him. And I don't like Mark Andrews.
I agree. On a personality base, I love Njoku way more than Mark Andrews, but I would take Mark Andrews over both of those guys.
Yeah. Detroit wins this game?
Yeah. And I think this is going to be one of the harder hitting games of the whole season. But both their defenses, the way these both teams have played football, even if Detroit blows out Cleveland, I think this game is going to be brutal, dude. It's going to be a beatdown on the field all day long. Oh, I cannot wait for that game.
Yeah. All right. Before we continue on and get to Washington, Atlanta, let's shout out our other affiliates over at Finley Hats. Check out and join the Finley Force. There's a link in the description. Click that link. You'll get a cool 15% off your first purchase. They got free shipping across the U.S. They got a ton of cool designs. They do weekly drops. They have mystery boxes. They have sunglasses. They have beanies. They have snapbacks. They have dad hats, shirts, jerseys, joggers, all types of apparel. So check them out over at Finley Hats. Like I said, click that link. You'll get 15% off. They got the Stampede laces. They got the customizable pins. They got the pockets on the inside. Really cool, unique hats built for good times, built for long times. They will replace or repair your hat absolutely free if it is damaged or destroyed. So check out our friends over at Finley Hats as we continue on with our 1 o'clock games here on the Drafted Up podcast. All right, the Washington Commanders travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are 2.5-point home favorites, over under a 43.5. We brought up Terry McLaurin news. He's not going to play. Either is Jaden Daniels. Appreciate you, Washington, coming out, telling us this ahead of time. So how are you feeling about the Washington skill position guys?
Not particularly great. Debo was kind of a letdown last week with Mariota as quarterback, and Zach Ertz had his worst showing of the year, but I still think both those guys are startable. Bill Krosky, Merritt, he's questionable, but the fact that they didn't rule him out, but they ruled McLaurin and Daniels out already makes me think
he was at Krosky's gonna today.
Yeah, I think he's gonna play because I feel they would have just ruled him out as well. I'm not starting any other backs. I'm just going to let their backfield kind of settle for another week or two and just see how it plays out. But I would still lean Bill Krosky Merritt if I had to take one of them.
Yeah. Debo, I think he's a flex play, and I think Ertz is a fine play as well. I even think you could stream Mariota if that was your route last week.
Oh, so yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And
you said skill players. Yes. I wasn't talking Mariota.
I just transitioned into Mariota there.
Gotcha.
Revenge game for him. He's playing Atlanta. He was there for a hot minute.
Sure. You are right. That is a fact.
But yeah, if you were the Jaden Daniels owner, you went Mariota last week, you can go that route again. I would
for sure.
I would go Caleb or Geno, like I brought them up earlier. If they're out there,
I'm
playing
definitely
both those dudes over Mariota. Atlanta, Bijan obviously locked in. Drake London. What are you doing about him? His yards per target has gone down, and like they're just like he's not playing out of the slot as much. Like they're not utilizing him like they did last season, and it's tough. Like where do you hold Drake London in terms of like rest of season? Like, do you think he's a wide receiver 1, or do you think he's now more of a wide receiver 2 flex guy?
I wouldn't say flex. I would say a high end wide receiver 2, still a lower end wide receiver 1 if need be.
So you would rather London than like Metcalf rest of season?
Yeah, I would take London still on the upside over Metcalf. I would even take him over Ladd. We talked about him a little bit earlier. But I would take London over both those guys going the rest of the season.
Okay. Kyle Pitts, you playing him this week? Him or Ertz? Same game.
Zach Ertz.
Agree. I don't think there's anyone else really in this game to talk about, yeah?
No, it's not really great with McLaren and Daniels being out, and with Eckler being out, Washington's backfield's just a whole bunch of mess, so I'm out on all those guys. So it's not much. It's Debo, Ertz, essentially. Mariota's a really good start if you had Jaden Daniels. What about Penix? You starting Penix in any type of like 2 QB leagues? Probably not, right?
I would play Rodgers over him against a tough Minnesota defense.
I agree. I'm with you on that one. For sure. What about Stafford? Asking for a friend.
I would play Stafford over Penix.
I agree. I like Stafford a lot this week.
Though
I'm with you on that one.
I am going to pick Atlanta to win this game.
Give me Washington. I trust your coaching staff a little bit more.
Here we go. The Tennessee Titans travel to Houston to take on the Texans.
Oh, what a good game.
Both teams 0-3. Texans are 7-point home favorites with an over-under of 39.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is easily the lowest projected game of the week.
Tony Pollard. That is it for Tennessee for me.
Yeah, Ridley's kind of disappeared, and then
I'm not messing with Ayumaner this yet.
Ayumaner's honestly the better start out of the both. He's gone double digits the last 2 weeks with the touchdowns, obviously.
Would you start Jordan Addison over both those guys?
I would start Ayumaner over him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with Ayumaner in like a double flex. He's the touchdown guy. I would honestly start him over Ridley if I had both of them.
I would also start him over Ridley if you had both of them. Bless your heart, because that's a struggle.
Oh yeah, Godspeed. I'm talking like dynasty leagues. No one in the world should have them in redraft leagues. Both those guys.
Tony Pollard gives you a good floor. He doesn't give you a ton of excitement, but volume's there. Watch Chigakonkwo. He was more involved this past week than he has been, but again, I'd start Kyle Pitts over him. So, he's like you're in a 2 tight end league, if that's even a thing. Sure,
I would. But like, I would have him and Pitts in the same bucket.
Okay, like I would start Brent Strange over Chig. I would start Pitts, Ertz, Kincaid, all those guys. I would start both Cleveland dudes over him. But I would just watch his usage. If it's like it was last week, then he might be worth kind of bringing on as a back into your bench guy with bye weeks coming up.
Yeah, last week he's seen a season high in receptions and yards. Yeah, I would have him in the same bucket as Pitts and Brandon Strange. Okay. For sure.
Houston, you could start Nick Chubb. Like, theoretically, this should be a good game for him. The Texans are 7-point favorites on a low score, over-under, so they should be able to run touchdown upside. If he doesn't have a good game, I think that means Woody Marks has taken over this backfield. His snap percentage has gone up the last 3 weeks. Every week it's gone up. So he's definitely one to monitor. I think he should already be stashed on your bench just in case. Not that the Texans offense is any good, because it's not, but I think he gives a little more juice than Nick Chubb would if that's the route they're going to go. And then obviously you're going to start Nico Collins and nobody else. Not messing around with. I would start Michael Penix over CJ Stroud. There's the line for Penix for me.
And that's rough. And I don't even think that's like a Stroud thing. He's still looked fine. Like playing wise, yeah, he's still making mistakes, but he's getting pressured a bunch. The line's terrible. The run game is atrocious. His receivers aren't good besides Nico Collins. I'm still in on Stroud, but I agree. I would probably start Penix this week over him. And Nick Chubb, I'm not huge on him. He didn't have a great week last week. He only had 7 points for Jacksonville, and I get it, they're a good defense, but he's all touchdown. Like if Nick Chubb doesn't have a touchdown, he's not going to have a good game.
Yeah, I agree, but the chance of him scoring here, I think, is higher than most weeks. Tennessee not great, but
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I do think if it is a bad week for Nick Chubb, I think that means Woody Marks is taking the backfield.
I agree. I think Woody Marks is already going to be more involved than he was last week, and last week he was on a season high 48% of snaps. So he was out there for almost 50% of snaps. Chubb was out there for 52% of snaps. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than people realize this week.
Yeah, and I haven't heard any news on Joe Mixon, so I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, no, there's no timetable. Christian Kirk came back last week. He wasn't overly involved, 67% of snaps, but he saw 8 targets. If you need a guy that's just going to be on the field and see targets, he's the number 2 on this team. It's not Jaden Higgins. His role didn't change at all.
Him or Addison?
Oh, Addison, for sure.
Okay.
I would probably start Calvin Ridley over Christian Kirk, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans here. Or not the Titans, the Texans. Taking the Texans. Taking the Texans.
I was like, damn, he came out of left field quick with that one.
Cam Ward, bless his heart, love him. It's been a struggle for him. The offensive lines, he's getting pressured. The weapons aren't fully there yet. He hasn't looked great. He's last in the league in completion percentage, but
he's playing a lot of hero ball.
Yeah. I still think he's primed for the future, but this year he's taking his rookie bumps for sure. So I think the Texans win this handedly. Yeah,
I'm also taking Houston, but man, it's crazy that Houston's 0-3. They were the front runner for this division, and Indianapolis is running away with this division. No, but Indianapolis is.
Jacksonville's only a game behind Indy. You're disrespecting the Jags, brother.
And they haven't played nearly any type of ball that Indianapolis has played. They have looked atrocious in some moments.
Yeah. The New Orleans Saints travel to Buffalo to take on the Bills. The Bills are 14.5-point home favorites and over under of 48.5. Start your Bills. Josh Allen, James Cook. Kincaid, my start of the week. I think he's a top 10 to 12 tight end this week.
You just worried about a blowout and they don't pass?
I am, because Buffalo isn't one of those teams that just keeps laying on the gas. They'll pump the brakes, and there's a chance Josh Allen doesn't even play the fourth quarter of this game.
I think that does happen. I think he only
I'm
plays
not messing
3 quarters.
around with any of the Bills receivers though. Trying to figure out between Coleman and Shakir. Not worth it. I'd rather just play Kincaid, play James Cook, play Josh Allen, and call it a day on the Buffalo side.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. James Cook has been honestly the workhorse in this backfield. It's not a triple head that anyone thought. Ray Davis is barely out there. Ty Johnson's barely out there. James Cook is that dude, so that's cool to see. But yeah, it's just Allen, James Cook. I'm not really messing with the receivers. Kincaid, though, your start of the week, I like him a lot. If you had to pick between Shakir and Coleman, who you pick him? Coleman's been like a dud the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I would lean him, though. I could see them trying to get him more involved. There's higher touchdown upside with Keon Coleman in the big play, and the Saints defense not great, so I think they could stretch, take the top off of it. So I would lean Coleman if I had to play one of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could make the case of kind of just who you're playing. If you need a high upside guy, go Coleman. But if you need a guy that's going to get close to 10 points, it's going to be Shakir. Coleman's either going to put up 20 and 3. He's got a super high ceiling and a super low floor.
Yeah. Honestly, I would play both Saints receivers before I would play either Bills receiver. Just because the Saints are going to be down. They're going to have to pass
they're going to be hella
so
down, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if Shakir, Olave, both of them get 10-plus targets, and then Juwan Johnson gets his
Shakir or Shaheed?
10. I would play
Shaheed, right?
Yeah.
No, you said Shaheed. You said Olave and Shakir, but I think you meant Shaheed.
Sorry. I did. I
think Olave is close to a top 24 play. Olave's getting a bunch of targets. He's really decent this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he's panning out and his health hopefully sticks out the whole rest of the season.
Him or DK Metcalf?
Rest of the season or this week?
No, this week.
This week, give me Olave because it's going to be a blowout, and I think they're going to be. I think you can push the 13 targets again.
Agree. Juwan Johnson, you're probably keeping him in your lineup. No reason to move on from him unless you have Jake Ferguson. Mm-hmm. Alvin Kamara, you worried about him? He hasn't been great. They're not utilizing him in the passing game. He's getting opportunities, but Kamara's, bread and butter was the fact that he got targets and receptions, whereas this year he hasn't really been getting that. He's just been getting carries.
Yeah, it's only happened once. Week 2, he got 6 targets and brought in all 6, but other than that, he only has 4 targets on the year. So his rushing game hasn't been terrible, though. Week 2, he went up for 99, and then week 1, he averaged 4 a carry and a touchdown. Week 3 was his really step down. I'm still starting Kamara regardless. He's
Yeah.
getting a bunch of targets, and well, not targets, but
He's an RB2 for me, but I'm not moving him
I
out of my
agree.
lineup. But he is somebody I would keep tabs on. Like maybe he is approaching that, hitting the wall, or just bad offense, and he's just not effective enough.
Yeah, I would take him probably over Chase Brown the rest of the season.
I'm
Yeah,
not quitting. I'm not quitting on my guy yet.
fair enough.
Our first
fair
draft
enough.
darling, our first co-draft darling is not doing as well. Buffalo wins this game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't even know we
Saints
were actually
cover?
picking a. No,
No, I
no.
agree. Sorry, New Orleans. Final 1:00 game. Carolina travels to New England. Panthers Patriots. Patriots are 5.5-point home favorites, over under a 42.5. No Xavier Legette for Carolina. Chuba Hubbard.
I think that helps Carolina
That's
out.
a good thing.
I think
Good
that's
thing for
good.
Bryce Young.
Yeah,
When
that's
Bryce
a good
Young's not
locker
throwing the
room
ball
thing.
to Xavier Legette, he's doing good. Chuba Hubbard banged up. He's questionable.
I'm still playing him though.
If you're but if you're the Chuba Hubbard owner, I would already preemptively be going after Rico Dowdle, stashing him.
Yeah.
And if I'm not in your week at running back, I would go pick up Rico Dowdle regardless, and you fall into a flex play at running back. There for Rico, I think he's a good play if it's his backfield if Hubbard's not out there. Plus, he's been getting the goal line work, so keep an eye on how that timeshare comes out here. Tedero McMillan, also questionable. He should be out there. You're going to play him. He's been great. JT Sanders is not playing, so maybe Hunter Renfro's a real gross, sneaky start if you're desperate for a play. Like, I don't hate it. He was really involved last week.
And week 1, or week 2. Week 2, he had the 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I'm cool with Renfro just because JT Sanders ain't going to be there, and Tet is banged up. If Tet was 100%, I would be out on Renfro, but there's a chance that Tet's injury just acts up early in the first, and then he's not going to be in there the rest of the game, and then Renfro's really the only receiving option that Bryce has any type of connection with this season. So I'm cool looking at Renfro this week if you have to.
Yeah. I'd also preemptively be going and picking Jalen Coker up and throwing him on my IR. Because I think when he gets back, he's going to be really involved in this offense. New England. Drake May, good play. I wouldn't be moving on from Drake May. I think he kind of teeters. Like, would you play Drake May or Baker Mayfield?
That's a lot closer than it should be. I'd probably go Drake May. He's been really good this season.
I was going to say, I'm leaning Drake May as well. Would you play Caleb or Gino over him?
Over Drake?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Me either.
I'm not as high on Caleb going forward. I get that they pass a bunch, but Drake still rushes a lot, and he's got a really good baseline with his rushing yards.
Yeah. Hunter Henry, good play this week.
You can play him.
In need of a tight end, you can play him. I'm not messing around with any of the Patriots receivers. I don't know. Diggs isn't startable. Booty's not consistent enough. For the love of God, Mike Vrabel, play Kyle Williams. Like, you needed some juice at wide receiver. Put in this guy. And
they got the juice with Mac Hollins, bro. What are you talking
play
about?
Travion Henderson. Like I want so bad to put Travion Henderson in my lineups in the leagues I have him. I wanted to make him my play of the week because I do believe that this is the week that Travion Henderson takes over this backfield. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if he only gets 3 touches because I just so frustrated with Mike Vrabel's usage here. Like, are you playing Travion Henderson this week, or would you play Ramondre?
I would play Henderson over Ramondre for sure. Probably even going forward. I think it's going to switch. I do think it's going to be a 50-50 split this week, though, between the guys. I think they're going to have equal carries, probably around 8 to 10 between the two of split. So close to 20 rushing attempts between the two guys. And if you're giving Henderson 9 attempts to break one off, I think that's a way better chance than Ramondre 9 carries for 45 yards. That's nothing really. So give me Henderson over Ramondre.
Would you play Henderson or Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard. Way safer.
Okay. Because they're two opposites. Henderson's all juice, big play. Pollard's all volume. I would probably also lean Pollard as well. Anyone else? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, man. Hunter Henry, like you said, man, he's a good start. I have him same bucket as Zach Ertz this week. So if Mariota wasn't playing,
do you agree with Diggs? Not worth playing. I don't even think he's worth rostering.
I would still give him another week. I really like Diggs, and we have to remember that Diggs was possibly going to start on the IR.
I know, yeah.
So if he did start in the IR, he still wouldn't even be back. So. And he's recovering from a really bad injury, so I'm still giving Steph Diggs that leeway because he looked really good in like early camp videos and highlights and stuff. And
Kyle Williams. That's right.
I know. I mean, I would rather Kyle Williams over Demario Douglas and Kayshon Boutte for sure. Even definitely Matt Collins, but I would take Diggs over Kyle Williams.
Yeah, Obviously, Kyle Williams hasn't really played at all. Have you seen Demario Douglas's stat line?
I know week 2 he had -2 yards, or week 1 he had -2 yards.
So what if I tell you this guy's 13 targets?
I think he had a touchdown with the -2 yards, which is insane.
He's got 13 targets and 13 yards.
Hey, consistency.
5 catches for 13 yards and 1 touchdown, averaging 2.6 yards a catch.
And we thought Wandale last year was bad. That's crazy, dude. That is insane.
Who wins here? Because I think we're done with this
New
game.
England. Yeah, we're done. We can move on after this. New England, for sure.
I agree. All right, let's get to these 4 o'clock games. Both going to Patriots there. The 3-0 Indianapolis Colts. This is their big one. They're playing the 2-1 Los Angeles Rams. Rams are 3.5-point home favorites, and over under highest of the week 49.5. We'll get the Rams out of the way. They're easy. Kyron Williams in, Puka Nacua in, Devontae Adams, if he's out there, in. I know he came up on Thursday on the injury report, so that's something to keep an eye on. I didn't see any report today, but I expect him out there. He did practice in a limited fashion today. So
yeah, the Rams are optimistic that he's gonna play.
Yeah,
he should be.
You're gonna put him in your lineup, and that's it. Rams are nice and easy. Those 3 guys.
Yeah, the Rams are very similar to Philly. It's when they're in, you're playing them, except Stafford, obviously, because he's not Jalen Hurts. I wish Stafford was out here getting 2 to 3 rushing touchdowns pretty daily. Kyron's an automatic lock. He's been so good this year. Puka's been amazing. Devontae Adams has also been really good when he's out there. So, yeah, I'm all in on that. Stafford or, like, Penix, or where would you put Stafford? How would you rank him out? Because I think he's startable this week.
Yeah, the high over-under is going to make me lean Stafford over Penix, I think.
What about just this matchup, him or Danny Jones?
I'll go with Daniel
against the Rams defense. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with Daniel Jones rushing upside.
Understandable. I'll take Stafford out to him.
Okay. Wow. On Indianapolis, Daniel Jones, I'm fine with that. Like, I would play Drake May over him. But like I would have him in like that same boat. Like
play Mariota over either of these guys?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor obviously locking your lineup. Michael Pittman, you cool with him this week?
Yeah, for sure. I'd play him over Devontae Smith.
Agree. Tyler Warren obviously locked in. Nobody's averaged. Yeah,
for sure.
You know, nobody has more yards after catch than Tyler Warren in the NFL, which is crazy. The dude's a machine. He's a boat, as you said. He could be a boat, and he's the whole yacht at this point.
He is, for sure.
Josh Downs, how are you feeling about him? No Alec Pierce, so he's out with the concussion. Do you think Josh Downs is... You get frisky with it? Like, would you start Josh Downs over Jordan Addison?
Oh, man, that's rough. I think this game's going to be pretty close, so I think both teams are going to be passing most of the game. I don't think either team's going to pull out the other. I would have Downs and Addison pretty close to the same bucket. I'd probably lean Addison just on higher upside.
Mm-hmm.
But it wouldn't surprise me if Downs comes out here and has 7-8 targets. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Downs is a guy you can move on from. I don't think there's a ton of upside right now, and like I would have like if Woody Marks was on my waivers, I would drop Josh Downs and pick Woody Marks up.
Yeah, with the running back scarce, whatever word I'm trying to think of.
Scarcity.
Scarcity. Yeah, I would take Woody Marks over Downs right now. He's just another receiver that's playing fantasy football. Like you can go out and get a guy that's 10 points and full point PPR every week.
Yep.
Downs hasn't even done that. So
fully replaceable guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't play him. Who wins here? I think we're done.
We didn't talk much to Jonathan Taylor, obviously, because he's Jonathan Taylor, but he's one of the best running backs in football. Anyone. Yeah, no one should ever thinking about moving Jonathan Taylor anywhere near away from their lineup. Give me the Rams. I'm taking the Rams in this one.
I'm also taking the Rams. Quick on Daniel Jones. Would you play him or Bo Nix? Bo Nix is playing Cincinnati, and Bo hasn't looked great this year.
Give me Bo Nix this week versus the bad defense. The Rams defense is really good.
What about the next matchup? We're going to talk about Brock Purdy. Would you play Purdy or Daniel Jones?
That one's a lot closer. I'd probably lean Danny Jones just because Purdy's not healthy fully. If Purdy was 100% healthy, I would lean Purdy. For sure.
Drake May?
Yeah, over probably most of those guys. Stafford, Danny Jones, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Trevor Lawrence. I would
just
put Trevor Lawrence in
the
same boat as CJ Stroud. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel to San Francisco to take on the undefeated 49ers. Niners are 3.5-point home favorites, over under 46.5 points. This is nice because the Colts and the Jaguars, Colts are 3-0, Jags are 2-1, are get to play like legitimate teams here. Like I know Denver was good, but they haven't been up to like the par that I held them to this year, and Jacksonville hasn't really played a ton of good competition. So Brock Purdy's back. I think you could play him. I think he's a fine start. I think he's in that 10 to 15 range at quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, obviously in your lineup with his projected 427, touches for the season. And Ricky Pearsall did show up on the injury report. He's questionable.
Into the ground.
So now McCaffrey's coming out after Ricky Pearsall. Demarcus Robinson, he's back. He's an interesting stash. Like if Jennings isn't out there, like would you play Demarcus Robinson over Josh Downs or Jordan Addison?
Probably not over Addison, but I would have him right above Downs if Jennings doesn't go and Purdy's out there. So it's a whole lot of ifs for.
So Jennings did return to practice today, so we'll see.
And Pearsall was limited the last 2 days. He didn't practice on Wednesday being Pearsall, but he practiced limited Thursday, Friday. So Pearsall's probably going to play.
Yeah. I think Pearsall's a good play. Keep him in your lineup. Jennings.
Yeah.
Jennings maybe, but I'd lean away just because he did miss last week, and his is an ankle injury, so that could kind of flare up. Especially because he hasn't really practiced all this week except today. That's it from San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Not messing around with Jake Tungus.
No, not having Kittle out there just really bums out me on this offense, but it runs through McCaffrey at this point, so I love that for his fantasy production. Like you said, he's on pace for 400 some targets and attempts. It's insane what they're trying to put the workload on that man. More than 55% of their plays last week were ran through McCaffrey, so he is this offense, but McCaffrey's a lock. Ricky Pearsall, if he plays, is a lock, and Purdy also.
It's great for this offense to get Brock Purdy back as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then hopefully Kittle comes back in like a week or two, and then we're really just really rolling with the San Fran.
Yeah. Jacksonville. What do you like?
Oof.
Etienne, I don't think he's as good as a play as he has been. Niners, they're an okay defense. I'm
still playing him.
Yeah. Like, would you play him or Javonte? Javonte, tough matchup with Green Bay.
As a Javonte owner in a lot of leagues, I would play Etienne this week over him.
Okay, I would lean Javonte.
Okay. Honestly, I think this is a good week to try to trade Javonte. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's going to be a really rough 4 weeks without CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, yeah, and they also lost Tyler Booker, too.
Yeah, they've kept losing offensive linemen.
Like, Tootin should be rostered. Don't play him, but he's getting more involved. He's going to have a role in this team. Like, Travis Hunter you could probably drop him. He's unplayable at this point.
I wouldn't drop him yet. I would give him another week or two, but it's very close.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like,
he hasn't gone double digits in full PPR at all this year.
And he played more defense than he did offense for the first time last year. So who knows what his utilization is going to be? Brian Thomas Jr., you're just going to ride that struggle bus. Like, I'm not pulling him out of my lineup. Like, would you play him or DK Metcalf?
I would play Brian Thomas.
Okay. What about Drake London?
That's so bad. That is disgusting. Oh man, I don't know. BTJ scares the hell out of me.
Rest of the season or this Brian week? Thomas Jr. or Drake London?
Drake London.
Okay.
I like him more as a player.
Yeah, I'd probably agree just because Trevor Lawrence gives me the ick. Whereas Penix, he's still young. He doesn't give me the ick.
I mean, I agree on the Trevor Lawrence thing. He's not nearly the quarterback he should have been coming out of college, but a lot of the catches, man, like 50% of these drops are on BTJ. They're not all on Trevor Lawrence.
I agree, but yeah, Trevor Lawrence his quarterback rating's lower than it is with any other player on the team, with Brian Thomas Jr. So the connection's just not there for some reason. Parker Washington is an interesting name to bring up. Kind of keep an eye. He had 11 targets last week.
I brought him up whenever we did the recap shows and whatnot for receivers.
Yeah.
And if Dyami Brown misses time because he's questionable, it's not looking like he's limited. He might not play. I don't think Travis Hunter sees his snaps. I think it's going to be Parker Washington seeing the Brown uptick in snaps. Like you said, he's seen 11 targets last week. I think that's going to be more than Travis Hunter. I don't think he's going to see 11 again, but he's going to out-target Travis Hunter for sure. I would play Parker Washington over Travis Hunter.
Brenton Strange, would you play him or Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry. Higher ceiling.
Yeah. Brenton Strange, like, you could throw
he's
a
fine
flyer
start. If you need him, if you need a tight end to play, he's going to get 8 to 12 points.
Like, I would play him over Chig, and I would probably play him over Pitts as well. Yeah,
I would probably play him over both those guys, but they're all very close in my eyes.
Yeah,
probably back to back to be honest.
Who wins here?
Give me San Fran. I think they're a better team.
Yeah. I'm also going with the 49ers. The Baltimore Ravens travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Ravens are 2.5-point road favorites. An over-under of 48.5. Lamar Jackson, lock him in. Derrick Henry, it's been a bumpy ride. You're not going to move away from him either. And same with Zay Flowers. I know he had a rough week with Detroit, but that just kind of shows you that maybe the Baltimore offense is still kind of what it always has been, where there's weeks where Zay Flowers just isn't involved because he's not that alpha dog. So, but I'm not moving him out of my lineup at all after the rough go against Detroit. It's really, the question is like Mark Andrews. Would you play him or Kelsey?
That's a rough call. I'd probably lean Kelsey. He's been a little bit safer, getting closer to the double digits every week. But that last week with Andrews, man, was such a big week. But it all depends on if Zay Flowers isn't there. If this offense has to run through Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews kind of disappears, and he's out there blocking. But if Zay Flowers does take the step back, Mark Andrews is out there, I would lean Kelsey over Andrews, though.
I also lean Kelsey over Andrews. You're not messing around with Rashad Bateman?
No, not really. He did have that. He had a touchdown last week, I believe. He did find the end zone. Yeah. First really good game of the year. Oof. Give me Bateman. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. What about Addison?
I think I would chase Bateman's touchdown over Addison's touchdown this week.
Interesting. All right. No one else in Baltimore. Isaiah Likely probably not playing.
No, Likely's not going to play this week, but he should be out there next week, and I think he should be rostered this week before he comes back next week.
I agree. Kansas City, Mahomes, my start of the week. I think he's a good play this week. Travis Kelce's fine. Like, he's not that guy that he was. Like, I hold him more into the, like I do with like quarterback, the 10 to 15 range than I do the 4 to 8 range for tight ends.
Yeah, I have him in the tier above.
I honestly
Hunter
think
Henry
he's
and
as
Kyle
good
Pitts.
of a play as I would play Hunter Henry over Travis Kelce. I would.
Probably not me, but I would have Kelce in the tier above those guys.
Yeah, I'm starting to hold Travis Kelce like I do Patrick Mahomes. That you can feel fine benching those guys. But
reasonable.
Would you play Tyquan Thornton?
I think you can play Thornton if you have to. I think he's the receiver I'm playing if I have to play any receiver out of this bunch.
Him or Trey Tucker.
I picked up Tucker in a bunch of leagues, but I'd probably play Thornton this week over him. He's going double digits back-to-back weeks for Kansas City here. And I get week 2 versus Philly was just 2 catches for a touchdown, but last week it was 9 targets, and he brought in 5 for 71. He was really involved. I think if Worthy does come back, it doesn't take away any of his really targets. Worthy's going to be on a pitch count. He's going to be schemed in on small stuff. He's not going to be running down deep.
Do you start
with
Worthy
half an
if he's
arm
out there? I'm not.
I said I would last week, but I wouldn't this week. I don't think you have to play him. I would play him over Godwin though. If you have to play like
Tucker
Worthy or
over
Godwin,
Thornton. I would play Worthy over Godwin. I agree. I'd lean Tucker over Thornton because Tucker's out there for 90% of snaps, whereas Thornton kind of hovers around there. Hollywood Brown, not worth it, even though like he could pop off at any time. Like I agree with you. If I'm going to play a Chiefs receiver, it's going to be Tyquan Thornton.
I think Thornton's really the only one you can play, to be honest. I wouldn't look any other way.
Pacheco and Hunt?
No and no.
The Ravens have been really bad against running backs, so
yeah, that's fine. The Chiefs have been really bad at running the ball.
Yeah, if I had to play one of them, I think I would lean Kareem Hunt. He has the touchdown upside, whereas Pacheco doesn't seem to be involved at the goal line.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're both going to be around 30 yards, and hopefully Kareem Hunt gets in the end zone if you play him, because it's not going to be Pacheco most likely.
All right, one of these teams has fallen to 1-3. Who's it going to be?
It's in Arrowhead, and Mahomes is like 5-6 in matchups versus Lamar Jackson. Give me Patrick Mahomes. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree. I'm taking Kansas City here as well.
Whoa, both of us. Okay, that's surprising.
Yeah. Chicago, the Bears, they travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders.
Chicago.
The Raiders are 1.5 point favorites and over under of 47.5. This game kind of is exciting for fantasy.
I agree.
Roma Dunze's a lock. I think he's no question in your lineup. I think Caleb Williams is a good stream play. Do you play DJ Moore?
I think you can if you have to, but I would start with Devontae Smith over him. Ricky Pearsall easily over him. I'm just trying to think of guys we've talked about. I would probably start Debo over DJ Moore this week.
Agree. What about Jordan Addison?
No. DJ Moore had a touchdown last week. I would go Moore over Addison.
What about on the other side of the field, Jacoby Myers or DJ Moore?
Oh, Myers easily over DJ Moore.
Myers, agree. How do you feel about DeAndre Swift?
I think Myers and Rome are the only locks from this game. I think both those guys should be in every single lineup this week.
Well, Genty's you can't bench Genty. You drafted him in the first. The chances you have 2 guys you could play over Genty are probably slim to none.
Yeah, maybe you went running back like 3 of the first 4 rounds, and you happen to get James Cook in the 3rd. I would be cool with that then. Because if your running backs are like McCaffrey, Genty, and James Cook, I'm starting McCaffrey and James Cook over Genty easily.
Yeah, I still think Genty's a flex play though. I just couldn't pull him from my lineup.
It depends on who you have. Probably not, but it's getting close to you can start talking about it.
I'd
play him.
Would you play him over? Would you play DeAndre Swift over him?
No, that's what I was about to say. I would play Genty over Swift this week.
Okay. I don't even want to play DeAndre Swift this. I would play Tony Pollard over Swift. I would take the shot on Travion Henderson over DeAndre Swift this week. I kind of hold DeAndre Swift with Nick Chubb, where I'm not excited about playing him, but
I don't. I think Swift is actually still a decent running back. Where I don't think Nick Chubb is good.
Yeah, see, I think he's a flex guy this week. I don't think he's going to be in the top 24.
I think he's right on the cusp, probably like 22 to 26 range. But I would start Tony Pollard over Genty. If we're doing the Tony Pollard thing, I would start Tony Pollard over Genty. I would do that this week.
Would you start Cam Scatterby over Genty?
Yeah, I would start Cam over Tony Pollard probably.
Okay. Wow. Okay. See, I would start Pollard over both. I would start Pollard over Scatterby, not over Genty.
I would also start Judkins over Genty this week. And Judkins has a terrible matchup.
Okay. See, I would not.
Genty's only broke double digits once this year, and it was week 1. It's gone down since they started using Dylan Lowry on like passing downs, and both guys are horrendous at run blocking. So Genty's not even going to be out there when they run block. Neither is Dylan Lowry. So they're going to give a chance to Zamir White because he's been out there a little bit now. This whole backfield's a huge mess. I would lean multiple different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the tides are going to change, and we're going to start seeing Genty show up here. So I'm not shying away from him. I still think he's a top 15 play.
Play him or Hampton?
Hampton.
Okay.
Play Hampton. Hampton would be at the top of the rookie running backs for me. Trey Tucker, if you need the dart throw upside long, if you're a big underdog, I think Trey Tucker's a fine play in a game that could be a shootout. Other than that, Brock Bowers, no Michael Mayer, he's going to be back. He's another week healthier, so expect Brock Bowers to kind of be back in the top 5 there at tight end.
He had 100 yards on 5 catches week 1, and that's when the ankle injury happened. It happened right after that. So it's essentially 3 weeks since the ankle injury. Brock Bowers is going to be full go this weekend. Yeah. I'm excited to see him out there.
Luther Burden, he's really the last guy we didn't talk about him. He had the big game.
You could probably roster him at this point because of what DJ Moore's not doing.
Yeah, stash him on your bench, but I'm not playing him.
Yeah, I'm not playing him. I agree.
Who wins here? Vegas or Chicago?
I called Chicago's first win last week. I think they're going to keep rolling. Give me Chicago.
Okay, I think Vegas wins here. Oh, Geno Smith. We didn't bring him up. I think he's a fine play at quarterback. Him and Caleb.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think Geno, you could play him this week if you need to. But I'm picking the Raiders. I think the Raiders win this game. Sunday Night Football revenge game. The Green Bay Packers travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Packers 7-point road favorites, over under 47.5. Micah Parsons back in Dallas. Cowboys are easy. Dak Prescott, I don't want to play him without CeeDee Lamb. I would play Geno, Caleb, Drake May, Daniel Jones, a bunch of these guys that we talked about over Dak. But I would play Dak over Michael Penix, but I would take the shot on Justin Fields before playing Dak Prescott. I just don't. I think it's going to be a tough go-round for Dak against a really good defense in Green Bay.
I agree. I'm in a league where I start 2 QBs, and my quarterbacks are Dak, Sam Darnold, and Geno Smith, and I started Geno and Sam Darnold both over Dak this week.
Yeah, I think that's the right move. Javonte, you can play him, but I would hold him more as a low-end RB2 this week, so not what he's been for fantasy. And George Pickens, you're not going to move on and take him out of your lineup, but it does worry me that he's the one here. We liked Pickens because he was the wide receiver 2 in Dallas. As the wide receiver 1, I'm less into him, but would you play Devontae Smith over George Pickens?
I'd probably play Pickens just because his targets are solidified. He's seen 9 targets the last 2 weeks. Yeah. And now he's the number 1, so I don't think that goes up or 9? Down. I think he hits 9, yeah. I think it's going to be in that range, 8 to 10.
Okay. And Ferguson's the best play for Dallas. Green Bay, that's really where they've been giving up fantasy points, is to the tight end. I think Jake Ferguson is in line for a great play. Maybe he does actually score a touchdown for once.
Yeah, I think Jake Ferguson's honestly tight end 3 on the week. I would have him only under Brock Bowers and Trey McBride this week.
McBride, not the best game on Thursday.
He didn't have a great game, but in no world would I have started Jake Ferguson over Trey McBride. Yeah. It just wouldn't have happened.
Green Bay, I think you could play anybody. Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs. I think I would play Dobbs and Golden over the receivers that we kind of talked about, Addison, those guys. I would play both of them over DJ Moore, honestly.
I agree, and I honestly think you can bring up Wicks's name as well. Wicks is a really good deep ball receiver. Someone is going to get behind this Dallas defense. It's probably not going to be Romeo Dobbs, so that leaves it down to Matthew Golden or Dontavius Wicks. Mm-hmm. I honestly could see both of them getting deep touchdowns this week.
Yeah, I think we're in the swing where we're going to start seeing Matthew Golden become the go-to option at wide receiver at least.
I agree. Golden would be my number one option out of all of these receivers in the game, even over Pickens.
Yeah. We're picking Green Bay to win this game?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Parsons is going to go out there and have a field day. I can already tell you. He's going to have 2 or 3 sacks, and they're going to be brutal, dude.
Kenny Clark get a sack for Dallas against his former team? He was the...
I'm going to say no.
He says he's looking forward to hitting Jordan Love. So
yeah, I'm sure he is. We'll see if it happens.
Monday Night Football, we got a doubleheader. First game, New York Jets travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Fins are 2.5-point home favorites over under a 45.5. Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins, his shtick has always been they beat up on bad teams. So theoretically, the Dolphins should win this game. Like, where do you hold Tua in the line of quarterbacks we talked about? Like, would you start Tua over Matt Stafford or Michael Penix or Marcus Mariota?
Probably in the same ballpark, but probably I would start all those guys except Penix over him.
Okay. Achan's in your lineup. I think Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are good plays. We might see Darren Waller, but you're not going to play him, obviously. He shouldn't even be rostered.
I agree. Yeah. No one in the world should have him on a team.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if he actually gets out there and does anything. But I don't expect anything from Darren Waller. But I think Jalen Waddle's a good play. He scored the last 2 weeks. I think Tyreek's a fine play as well. And Achan, obviously, a great play out of the backfield. And the Jets, if Fields is out there, I think he's a good play. I think you could play him. Breece Hall, my play of the week. I think he's in line for a good week. And obviously Garrett Wilson, too much volume to move away from him. I think you're good with him. And that's it. The Jets are easy as well.
Yeah, I honestly think these teams are just really easy. Like, Tua's a streamable guy. I would play Fields over him. Achan, Breece Hall, both locks.
Yep.
And then the 3 receivers are locked. And
from each.
2 receivers from each team.
2 receivers from Miami and then the 1 from the Jets.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 2 receivers from each team. This guy's starting Josh Reynolds. No, wild man.
Tyler Johnson, baby.
Tyler Johnson. And then neither tight end I'm looking at. Mason Taylor hasn't been that guy yet. Maybe later in the season, and Darren Waller, God forbid. 8% of teams. He's owned in 8% of sleeper teams. That's 8% too many teams, by the way.
Yeah, you got to figure dynasty teams there.
No, I don't own that guy.
What about Ollie Gordon? He had the touchdown last week against the Bills.
He should definitely be rostered for sure. There shouldn't be many leagues where he's out there because of the running back depth and not many good startable running backs. But I probably wouldn't play him.
Yeah.
But he should definitely be on teams.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who wins this gross Monday night game?
This one's rough, man. I want to lean the Dolphins because they beat up on bad teams, but something in my gut's just telling me the Jets. So I'm picking the Jets.
I'm also picking the Jets. Jets.
Nice.
Final one. The Bengals travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos are 7.5-point home favorites over under a 44.5. Denver. Bo Nix, fine play, bad defense. He hasn't looked great, but he still gives you rushing upside. Fringe QB1 range. Cortland Sutton, play him. The question is, do you mess around with Troy Franklin or Marvin Mims?
Not this week, man. Mims hasn't been the guy that he was in preseason, and Franklin was out there for close to 80% of snaps again, but he only saw 4 targets, brought in 2 for 8 yards.
Where do you hold them in the Jordan Addison range?
Under all of those guys. I don't think there's many guys we brought up that I would start over him. Like,
agree. Yeah.
Like even Wan'Dale Robinson.
I'd rather play Josh Downs over both those guys.
Yeah, I agree. I'd play Downs and Wan'Dale over both those guys.
Christian Kirk.
Give me Christian Kirk. He's a number 2. He's the for sure number 2. He saw 8 targets last week.
Higgins
isn't going to take that.
I would lean Franklin over Kirk, but Kirk over Mims.
Okay, yeah, I would probably start Troy Franklin over Kirk. That's a good point. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins, I think, is a really good play as well.
Hell yeah.
Tyler Bidet, it wasn't involved, and you would think that was meant more stuff for R.J. Harvey, but it just meant more work for J.K. Dobbins. So lock him in. He should be a fringe RB1, high-end RB2 this week in my eyes.
Yeah, he's gone double digits in full point PPR every week, and it's not really the receiving work. He only has 4 catches on the year, but he can catch a ball too, so if they need him to. He was almost my start of the week, but I went Hampton over him. But J.K. Dobbins is a really good start this week.
Bengals. Jamar Chase.
Start him, obviously.
Yep. Chase Brown.
Oh, God, you didn't even go right to T. Higgins. That's not what I was
I was going to save T. Higgins for...
Chase Brown, yeah, man. I did bench him in the league. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Would you play him or Nick Chubb?
Oh my God, I hate Nick Chubb this year so much. Give me Chase Brown this week. Okay. There's not many scenarios I'm starting Nick Chubb.
Do you take the upside on Travion Henderson, or do you play Chase Brown?
No, still give me Chase Brown.
Okay. If Hubbard doesn't play, Rico Dowdle or Chase Brown?
Chase Brown.
Okay.
Over Rico, but I would go Chuba over Chase Brown.
I agree. Yeah. Chase Brown or DeAndre Swift?
Swift.
Okay, I would go Brown. T. Higgins though. Can you play him?
He's so inconsistent with Browning as the quarterback.
I would play
2 targets last week.
Yeah. 1
catch for 15 yards.
Yeah,
that's not acceptable.
Throw last week out the window because it was just a whole shit show with the Vikings defense just obliterating them. I would play both Packers receivers over T. Higgins. I would play Jacoby Myers, obviously. I would probably play DJ Moore over T. Higgins. I honestly think I'm holding T. Higgins in the same boat as Tyquan Thornton.
Whoa. No, I think I would play. Who was the name before Tyquan Thornton?
DJ Moore.
I would play T. Higgins over him.
Okay, that's fair too. But T. Higgins, it just worries. Yeah,
I'm not excited for either T. Higgins or DJ Moore going the rest of the season.
That's absolutely
but
yeah.
I would play T. Higgins. Yeah, it's going to be rough go for both those guys.
How are you feeling about R.J. Harvey before we make the pick? Is he somebody you would target in a trade? Or do you think this is...
No, I'm a big R.J. Harvey guy. I loved him coming out. I was really high on the prospect himself. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think he's on the field because he's not really needed right now. J.K. Dobbins is doing what he did really well early season. I do think, though, later in the season, we see R.J. Harvey more than we see, Caleb Johnson on the field. Guys like that. I think R.J. Harvey has better long-term value than I think, all the rookie running backs, but a good amount of them.
Yeah, I think he's a good trade for candidate. He's not going to cost much to get. And honestly, sure. I think in home leagues with people who aren't hardcore in the fantasy, and these are just real casual home leagues, I think there's chances he's being dropped or will be dropped with bye weeks coming up. And if he is, get him out, get him in your lineup. Well, get him on your team.
I agree. His high on the season's around 9 points, and that was week 1 when he had a huge run. Each week he has been more involved in the passing game. He's seen more targets each and every week. So I just think over time he's going to get more involved.
Yeah. I'm taking Denver here.
I am also taking Denver.
There we go. All right. That's week 4. Tuesday we'll be back, prospects, game balls, and we will bring back the power rankings as we'll be a quarter of the way through the season. So we'll give you guys our top 5 teams, and maybe we'll give you our bottom 5 teams as well. Maybe. We'll see.
Bottom 5. Yeah. Giants.
Saints.
Saints. Not the Colts.
No, I'll still put them in my bottom 5. Out of spite.
Out of spite. Goddamn Colts.
Anything else? We good to wrap up?
No, I think we're good, dude.
All right.
Wrap it up.
That's the Drafted Up podcast. That's Nick. I'm Theo. You know where to find the show. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, rate, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. Support our affiliates, W Energy, Finley Hats. We'll catch you guys on Tuesday. Good luck this week. Win those games. Get those dubs.
Bye. Eat those dubs.